Top stories tonight. Senate suspends tax reform bills, plans meeting with Attorney General to address disputes. Bomb blast in Zamfara State claims multiple lives, injuring several others. Human rights activist Dele Farotimi arraigned over alleged defamation. On his historic visit to Angola, U.S. President Joe Biden lauds Lobito Corridor infrastructure project. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Our coverage tonight begins at the Parliament, where the Senate leadership has directed its Committee on Finance to suspend further action on the proposed tax bill pending the outcome of a high-level meeting with the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF. Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, who made the announcements during plenary, disclosed that a special committee has been constituted to address contentious issues in the bill, with a meeting scheduled for Thursday. The decision follows a series of deliberations by lawmakers aimed at resolving disagreements over key provisions in the proposed legislation. The contentious areas have sparked debates among stakeholders in the last couple of days. In addition, the Senate leadership announced plans to convene a special meeting to be held at the National Assembly and chaired by the minority leader to address all areas of disagreement.
With respect to the issues surrounding the tax reform bills, all the areas of disagreement, and resolve them for the interest of this nation. It is therefore proposed that by tomorrow, there will be a meeting with the committee that will set up here and the leadership to sit down with the Attorney General to look at those issues and resolve them. It's on this note that the Committee on Finance that the bills have been referred to should hold action on public hearing and other issues until we resolve these issues. So by tomorrow we shall sit, the committee shall sit with the committee that has been set up here, which I'm going to read the membership. By one tomorrow, I think by 12 noon tomorrow, so that we can see all these areas and resolve them for the interest of our nation. I therefore read the members of the committee, the members of the committee. Number one, Senator Abomoro, the Marolia is the chairman. Senator Mohammed Tairi Mongono, representing Northeast. Senator Adamu Alero, representing Northwest. Senator Oji Uzo Kalu, representing Southeast. Senator Dixon, representing South-South. Senator Tatu Zam, representing North Central. Senator Abdullah Yaya, Chairman, Committee on National Planning. Senator Adiola Solomon, Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriations. Senator Sani Musa, Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance. Senator Abiru, Chairman, Senate Committee on Banking.
To discuss this, we're joined by an economist, Aki Fatunke. Aki, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. So much has been said about this tax reform bill, but it seems many Nigerians are still in the dark. Please tell us as briefly as you can what you know about these bills being pushed by President Tinubu.
We'll be cutting the chase. What I know will be my expected outcomes and what I see, one of the most audacious, one of the most focused bills, a piece of constitutional amendment to fiscal and, journey since 1960. What I therefore know is that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has taken yet another bold step to harmonize the collective of our bills. There are actually four legs to this bill. There is the Nigerian tax bill, where, for instance, has captured about 7 or 8 different taxes: petroleum income tax, personal income tax, capital gains tax. You also have taxes, some excise duties, and the almighty VAT, which I guess is being the contentious issues, either because we have decided not to try and interrogate, to understand to full extent. Then we have the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, which essentially tries to harmonize how we collect taxes, how we do the filing, how we do tax audits, how we apply technology, how we efficiently manage effectiveness in our journey towards our own El Dorado. And then you have the Nigerian Revenue Service Bill, which seeks to repeal the Nigerian FIRS, legislation that we have to allow the FIRS and the other agencies to focus on their core responsibilities rather than collecting revenue. In the last, looking at it, over 60 agencies of government have been collecting revenues. And these revenues range from bicycle to motorcycle to cycle before cycle. Okay. Taxes that do not bring what you can describe as a quantum onto the table. And then fourthly, you have the
I'm just going to interject in the interest of time because, you seem to really, appreciate the idea behind this bill and what it tends to, it seems it will achieve. But there has been a real strong resistance from northern senators and some Arewa groups towards the reforms. And one of the most important things that keep coming up, based on so much explanation, is that it will impoverish the North majorly. What is your take about these fears? Are they founded?
My fears is that they are perceptions and they are not realities. They have been simulated scientifically to tell you that my brothers and sisters in the northern part of the country are going to benefit more. For those who end within a threshold, they are not going to be paying taxes. Who is not going to be happy about that? But for those who have been doing tax exemption and avoidance, who are the nobles rich, the people who ride the private jets and what have you, they will pay more taxes. That is how progressive taxation is supposed to be. Now, there's also a contention that because Lagos State, for instance, is much more industrialized than others, why can't we begin to look at it from developmental angle and be looking at derivation? If there is any state that should be cavilling this to be Lagos State, but Lagos State says, hey, wait a minute, yeah? Can we be looking at derivation? Because whatever it is that is consumed in Lagos or produced in Lagos is not necessarily consumed in Lagos, it's consumed elsewhere. Please, let's shift it out there. Apart from the fact that state governments and local governments are now going to be agents of production and not consumption. Liberal economists look at it and say, state must provide everything. It's been shown that it will not get us anywhere. So these are perceptions. I must also therefore say, be careful in communication here. I am not saying we, somebody else knows better than the others. If there are fears, those fears can be tackled through dialogue. An example is that because Lagos is looking at industrialization, it's taking 60%, the tax authorities are already looking at it. We are looking at it, we can reduce this, do a management of change, and do something from 60 to about 40 to 20. Is that not something that we should be clapping for? And then finally, it is on record that there are aspects of this tax that if you are producing and your import content is up to a quantum, you're not going to pay tax. What does that tell you? It's an incentive for you to produce, get yourself down, and then make sure that you can increase the prosperity of your people. I mean, we have slow economic growth. We have real big poverty. Is anybody looking at that and saying we don't have it? About 1.3 million people are multidimensionally poor. And these tax reforms aims to go out there, make sure that we report better, we manage better, we spend better, we budget better, also for the.
But Aki, you seem to the North. It's more beneficial for them. So why all these hesitation? And do you really? This is most likely a political question. Expect that this closed-door meeting that the Senate has called will impute any change of importance to the bill to maybe placate those who are aggrieved?
Consensus is the name of the game. Felicity. Don't forget, once upon a time, and then maybe you will understand this. We went to the National Assembly and we went to debate issue of indigenship and citizenship. Quite a number of people believed, I mean, there should be so much demarcation, but a section of the country felt otherwise, and we went downwards. What that means, Felicity, you are married from the southeast to somebody in the north central. You are not recognized in the southeast because you are supposed to be equally yoked to your husband in there. You get to north central, they say you don't belong, and you have all the brains. Who is losing? I am very positive, and I must say this very quietly. I am not aware that the governors are against the bill. I believe the closed door session with the Attorney General will iron out those contentious issues. I also think there's going to be a bit of a give and take. Nigeria must not miss this opportunity. We should not miss this opportunity. And I'm very sure that my brilliant, extremely brilliant people from the North will see the situation as a net gain for them and development for Nigeria in the final analysis.
Aki, as always, thank you for the insights.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Felicity.
Always a pleasure to speak with you. Let's stay with the Parliament. The Nigerian Senate is stepping in to address rising frustration over frequent flight delays and cancellations. It has directed its Aviation Committee to summon the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, NCAA Director General, Captain Chris Najomo, airline operators, and other key stakeholders. This follows a motion by Senator Buhari Abdulfatai, who emphasized the socio-economic toll of these disruptions and the eroding public trust in air travel. Lawmakers expressed concern over the impact on passengers and the aviation sector. The committee is tasked with investigating the root causes of these persistent issues and recommending solutions to improve the reliability of Nigeria's air travel system.
The Senate note from series of reportage from both the print and electronic media as well as the social media in the country, the instant delay and cancellation of flight by airline operator in Nigeria, which seem to be increased in recent time. Mr. President, also note that this development is worrisome, as air travel is one of the most reliable, dependable, and quicker means of transportation, often undertaken for business official purpose, and to keep to the scheduled appointment, which are usually time-bound. Therefore, unwarranted flight delay and cancellation will be counterproductive to the socio-economic growth and development of this country.
Nigerian airports are the only airports in the whole wide world where your flights are delayed without any explanation, without any apology. Your flights are cancelled without any apologies, without any announcement. And so I think that it is high time we take very stern stance on some of these issues, because it throws up the problem of our regulatory agencies.
We all have experienced delays and cancellation of flights in Nigeria. And it's not a comfortable situation in any country where these things happen. But Mr. President, I want to situate the condition.
And in Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has denied allegations of excessive borrowing by his administration. Speaking during the inauguration of the 11.8-kilometer Okehi-Umuola-Eberi Road, Fubara clarified that the only loan his government has taken is a 200 billion naira facility for the construction of a 50-kilometer ring road project connecting 6 local government areas. He urged critics to verify the claims with the Debt Management Office, emphasizing his administration's commitment to responsible governance. The newly inaugurated road serves as a critical link between Eche and Omoma local government areas, furthering infrastructure development in the state.
The contractor didn't disappoint us. Even when we are struggling to meet the basic need of government, what are the basic needs of governance? Protect the life of your people and their property, provide services. Even when they are working to make sure that we can provide services, we have to staff. We are determined to make sure that our people are happy. And we said, whatever it is that will cost us, we must make sure that we do this. Today, we are starting to showcase what we have done in those months when people are asking, what are we doing? Where is the fund? I'm happy to say here, I stand to be challenged. I have never borrowed. This administration has not borrowed. The only money we borrowed was the one we used in the ring road, and everybody is aware of it. Go and bring any paper. Go to debt management office, and check if we had asked for anything. We don't need it. What is important is the little we are getting, we are applying it rightly. You are aware of the situation that even while I'm still having difficulty with money, I paid salary, not just paying salary. We implemented the above 70%, 70,000 minimum wage.
Coming up, a bomb blast in Zamfara State has claimed multiple lives, injuring several others. We have details after the break. Do join us again. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Senate suspends tax reform bills, plans meeting with Attorney General to address disputes. Bomb blast in Zamfara State claims multiple lives, injuring several others. Human rights activist Dele Farotimi arraigned over alleged defamation. And on his historic visit to Angola, U.S. President Joe Biden lauds Lobito Corridor Infrastructure Project. Thank you for staying with us. Let's now head to the courts. Human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi has been arraigned before an Ekiti State Magistrate Court. Farotimi, who was arrested in Lagos on Tuesday by operatives of the Ekiti State Police Command, was brought to the court at about 10:25 a.m. Wednesday. The activist lawyer is being prosecuted on a 16-count charge of defamation of character against a legal luminary, Afeba Balola. He was accused of having maligned and defamed the character of Afeba Balola in his recently published book titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. Farotimi's lawyer has confirmed that he was not granted bail. The Ekiti State Police Command has also confirmed Farotimi's arrest, stating that he was apprehended after failing to honor previous requests for questioning. The court has adjourned the case until December 10. Reacting, the Nigerian Bar Association has called for the release of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi over allegations of libel leveled against him. A statement by the president, Afam Osigwe, on Wednesday said his arrest was a breach of the rule of law, contending that defamation had since been decriminalized in Lagos State. The NBA maintains that Farotimi's arrest was not only in clear violation of legal principles, but an affront to the rule of law. The association urged all law enforcement agencies to prioritize respect for human rights and adherence to the principles of legality. To take this discussion further, we're joined by legal practitioner and public affairs analyst Toyo Oseruwoja, who is joining us from the United Kingdom. Thank you for giving us your time. He was arrested yesterday and arraigned today. What does this say about this developing story?
Good evening, Felicity.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you look at it carefully, you discover that it's worrisome. Basically, it's worrisome that he was arrested yesterday and was charged to court today. We want to commend the justice system in Ekiti State, whereby a charge was filed today and it was assigned to a magistrate same day, and the person was arraigned that same day. And surprisingly, the person was also denied bail that same day in an offense that is bailable in nature. I think the essence of discretion of the court does not really matter in this particular offense, because if you look at the punishment for the offense he's being charged for is less than 3 years, which is a misdemeanor offense and is bailable. Then secondly, you also look at the count 1 or the charge 1 of the charge. You discover that it was charged for conspiracy. Then you look at the charge again. Can one person conspire against himself, or can one person form the offense of conspiracy? These are issues that are cause for concern when you look at the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria. And when you look at the way the police dive into issues. As a matter of fact, he was invited, yes, and he did honor the invitation. That is an issue that the police need to prove, because when you are invited by the police, irrespective of whatever reason, in as much the reason is disclosed in the letter of invitation, it is the duty of law-abiding citizen to honor the invitation. So these are issues that need to be looked at too. Then the second issue, I will look at it from the perspective of the charge in question. You want to question the rationale behind the police instituting such an action, when the Supreme Court has held in a case that is a recent case, 2021, when the NBA is saying that it has been decriminalized in Lagos State. No, by virtue of that decision of the Supreme Court, that categorically stated Section 39 of the Constitution, which in representation of the supremacy of the Constitution, every other act that want to criminalize the said offense, or the said that want to criminalize defamation, fails at the surface of it all. Then you look at the other area of publication. Where was this book published? Is it in Ekiti State? Where does the defendant reside? Dele, is it Ekiti State? So these are questions that calls for full reform of our justice system.
I mean, we've seen how activists and journalists criticize public figures here in Nigeria. How does this case impact the exercise of freedom of speech and expression in the country?
Well, freedom, you see, is not getting a platter of gold. People definitely pay sacrifice for you to attain freedom. So it should not be an issue that would deter journalists or that would deter activists. But another thing again is that we should look at it from the other perspective, because outside what is said or what the procedure will question of the arrest of Dele, we should also look at the extract of that book in question. Because we should know that the difference between a lawyer and let me use a good example of very dark man, is that a lawyer knows where and how to express or to exploit means of addressing the ills in the society rather than coming publicly. Do you understand? Because if you look at the extract in the charge, you discover that it's worrisome. One, if Dele could tell Nigerians that is it part of the process, one, then two, when those allegations or those statements are credited or those allegations raised in those in the extract of in the book, did he approach the appropriate authority? Let's forget the Supreme Court is also subject to the NJC. And let me tell you the simple truth that the justice that forms the Supreme Court, they can also be punished or questioned if they find themselves wanting in such act. So these are issues, but coming out in such book is questionable. So let's try and exploit the means laid down by law to address the ills in the society. Remember, the court is not a court of public opinion. Whatever the public will say or perception of the public towards an issue is quite different from the legal process, is quite different from the legal phase which the court looks at.
All right. Toa, thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
You are welcome.
A bomb explosion has claimed multiple lives and injured several others along Gusau-Dansadao Road in Zamfara State. The device reportedly planted by bandits detonated on a busy stretch of the road, targeting travelers and residents in Maru local government area. Counter-terrorism expert Zagazola Makama disclosed the incident on his X handle, describing it as the second explosion on the route. Makama warns this marks a dangerous escalation in tactics by bandits who are now employing explosives in addition to kidnappings, cattle rustling, and armed attacks. The attack raises concerns about increasing insecurity in the region. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has flagged off the construction of the Kabusa-Keti Access Road. The minister during the ceremony assured residents of both Kabusa and Keti communities of President Bola Tinubu's commitment to providing infrastructure to all areas within the capital, including satellite communities. Amadine Uyi reports.
Residents of the Kabusa and Keti communities had come out in their numbers. For them, it was a moment of joy, following the information that the road from Kabusa to Keti was being flagged off. Shortly after, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike arrived at the venue. While one official of the FCT gave details of the road project, some lawmakers present expressed their support for the minister, with the chairman of the Abuja Municipal Area Council highlighting the benefits of the project.
The road itself is has a 7-meter carriageway with 2 lanes with shoulders on both sides of 1.5 meter each. This pavement will have stone-based layer with 2 layers of asphalt, the binder and the wiring. Solar street lights will also be provided within communities. For us in the National Assembly, we are with you. We support your projects. At any time you need more funds to do your projects, if it is with us, especially with the national budget coming, I will encourage you to sit with the National Assembly so that we get more funds for Abuja.
The flag off for the construction of this Kabusa-Keti road is one act of generosity and goodwill to touch and reduce pains of the residents of Kabusa and Keti, who have suffered so much as a result of the poor state of the road.
The minister informed those present that the project is a fulfillment of the promises made by President Bola Tinubu.
When the president was asking for you to vote for him, he made some commitments. He said, look, if you vote for him, he was going to do this and he was going to do that. Is that not correct? Part of his promises he made was that, look, I'm going to provide access roads to our people. And that is why he has come today to fulfill that promise he has made. And that's why we say government agreement is what? Agreement is what? If you do for me, if you fall for me.
He assured that the president is committed to developing infrastructure in the FCT satellite communities.
And as part of the Renewed Hope agenda, Our effort is not to concentrate development in the city. Mr. President has directed that we must also open up all the satellite towns.
The minister also approved the establishment of a senior secondary school in Kiti community. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Building a resilient business in a struggling economy like Nigeria has been a major concern for many business owners, hence the need for strategies by critical stakeholders to foster entrepreneurship in the country. Some Nigerian business owners believe building resilient industries start with finding solutions to the challenges facing entrepreneurs. News Center's Omolola Ololade has more in this report.
At a time when many countries, including Nigeria, are going through economic uncertainty, building a resilient economy becomes paramount for elevating the economy to greater heights. This has once again brought to the fore conversations around building resilient industries at a business conference where critical stakeholders highlighted some of the challenges faced by business owners while creating practical solutions.
The call for building resilience is, it's very, very key to just get businesses through. We're ending the year, we're going into a new year, so we thought that it was a very timely message to encourage businesses to keep being resilient in tackling all of these challenges and finding creative ways to stay afloat.
Nigeria's present economic situation may have affected business owners as some companies have closed down while others struggle to stay afloat. Experts therefore emphasized on the need for companies, particularly manufacturing industries, to stay resilient at this difficult time.
Multinationals have left, which has been a shame. But that does not underestimate the significant opportunity that is still available for those that are willing to double down on investing in Nigeria. So it's having the foresight, having the patience, and having the skin in the game as Africans and Nigerians to stay and to take the challenges with the opportunities. But the ones that stay here for the long term will reap the rewards and will yield the returns that I believe is possible if you double down here.
In the face of these challenges, women entrepreneurs are at higher risk of doing business, especially as accessing funds have remained a major difficulty for them.
Women entrepreneurs are not risky. They're not riskier than their male counterparts. They're paying back their loans in record time. They're creating profits and revenue in record figures. So the business case, the justification is there. The data is there. The insights are there. The information is there that women should be invested in. They are prudent investors. They make meaningful decisions, not just for the business, for the family. And it's about time that we prioritize, as a global economy, investing in African women.
While challenges exist, Nigeria has the potential to build a resilient and prosperous economy with the right strategies, according to experts. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Friends and family converged on Abuja to mark the 75th birthday celebration for Felicia Adole, popularly called Mama. Felicia, a mother and grandmother, also took the opportunity to urge Nigerian women to remain steadfast to their families, saying that the benefits abound. Amadine Uyi again reports.
It was a two-part celebration expected to mark the 75th birthday ceremony of Felicia Adole, also known as Mama. It first started with a Thanksgiving service by prominent bishop and teacher David Abioye.
We are so grateful to God for keeping you alive and well the last 75 years.
There was also time for prayers by friends, family and well-wishers for the celebrants.
We will stand around you to honor you and to glorify God for you.
Many had a word or two to say about Mama.
Now, 75, for me, it's an answered prayer, and I know that by God's grace, she will live to see 100.
She's not only my mother, she's my best friend. She's my distant partner. Me and her, you see two of us, we can fight, oh. But you see, when it comes to family matter, my mom is the best.
Grandma is one of the best grandmas one can ever have. As a mother, as a grandma, as a sister, as anyone you could ever wish. And
exactly a year ago, we thought she was leaving us. But she lived by faith. She said to us she's not going anywhere, and that she was going to be here today to have the celebration.
Mama, in her usual way, also had a word for Nigerian mothers.
I would advise Nigerian women to humble themselves and take good care of their children. Impart life, knowledge, understanding onto their children.
The second part of the celebration saw many around the country come to celebrate with Mama. The high point of the event was the cutting of the birthday cake. Many in attendance took turns to wish Mama a happy birthday.
Wish the celebrant an happy birthday and a prosperous, merry, long life in good health and wealth with great happiness and joy.
My wishes for her is long life and prosperity and peace that passeth all understanding.
It's a good age, it's a ripe age, 75. And so we look forward to more celebrations in her life.
Very moment, I'm just overwhelmed that she made it up to this, to celebrate her 75, despite all the challenges she's been through.
One, she looks good for her age. I celebrate with her. She's a wonderful mother, a prayer warrior. And I was at her 60th birthday, and today, to the glory of God, she's doing her 75th birthday.
For Mama, her children and her grandchildren, they say they are looking forward to Mama at 80. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
We all are looking forward to her at 80. Moving on now, organizers of the African Hair Summit and Afro Hair Culture and Beauty Festival say that the 8th edition of the festival will take place on December 7th and 8th in Abuja. The festival, known for its emphasis on promoting natural African hairstyles, aims to raise awareness about the use of toxic chemicals found in hair and beauty products. The organizer of the festival, Adanna Ewenzo, says that this year's festival will engage both young and old participants and help showcase the beauty of African hair.
Afro Hair Culture Festival was birthed in 2019 in Lagos, Nigeria. At that point, I think we felt the need to switch up our engagement with people just a little bit to get them to understand that it's very okay to be African. It's very okay to have your natural hair, to embrace your texture, to embrace your skin color. It's okay, however you look, there is no mistake. You're perfectly and wonderfully made. And in fact, now we're going to begin a big celebration, of our Afro culture, which is what the festival is really about. So in addition to the educative part of what we do in terms of the workshops, the master classes that are all free, by the way, and we're bringing in experts from different countries, different states to be a part of this, the facilitators for these workshops. We also have panel discussions. We have product exhibitions of Africa's finest natural hair products. We also have cultural troupes performing, showcasing again the beauty of our African culture. This is our identity. This is who we are. We need to begin to embrace ourselves, celebrate ourselves, so that the world can also embrace us.
Still ahead, on his historic visit to Angola, U.S. President Joe Biden lauds Lobito Corridor Infrastructure Project. Details when we come back. Do stay with us. Glad you're still here outside the African continent. On the second day of his historic trip to Angola, U.S. President Joe Biden joined a round table with African leaders to discuss the ambitious Lobito Corridor infrastructure project that could transport via rail critical minerals from Congo and Zambia to the west. The outgoing American leader praised the undertaking as one that would provide the highest standards for workers, for the environment, and for the communities. With the United States seeking to regain influence in the face of China's advanced overtures, Biden had promised to visit sub-Saharan Africa during his time in office. Let's go to our business desk now for today's business update.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Nigeria, the world's largest producer of cassava, is taking bold steps to add value to its vast cassava output by producing pharmaceutical-grade starch. The Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, Professor Martins Emeje, announced the initiative in Abuja during the Cassava Value Chain Initiative community engagement meeting with Nigerian youths, where he described it as a revolutionary step towards economic empowerment and national development. The initiative is expected to incorporate youth farmer organization leaders and civil society representatives. The DG stressed that the project, which was initiated by the 10th National Assembly, aims to address unemployment and poverty while contributing to the nation's pharmaceutical sector, which aligns with the mandates of the agency. The Nigerian Senate has passed the Investment and Security Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. These followed the adoption of reports of the Senate Committee on Capital Market presented by the chairman, Osita Izunazo, at the plenary in Abuja. In his presentation, Izunazo said stakeholders at the public hearing on the bill were unanimous in the support for its passage. He said the capital markets required systemic but substantial updates to align with evolving financial market and regulatory frameworks globally. This, according to him, had become necessary to make it more attractive to both local and foreign investors. He explained that the bill would help to address modern forms of financial malpractices and reinforce investors' confidence by engendering robust and sustainable economic and social relations. South African Airways pilots have reportedly declared plans to embark on a strike on Thursday over a wage dispute. The airline revealed that the South African Airways Pilots Association initially tabled a 30% wage increase demand when negotiations started in May. However, the association has since reduced its wage demand to 15.7%. SAA has tabled an 8.4% wage increase offer, which it says is in line with what was granted to the rest of SAA staff members in June 2024. Kenya is working with a World Bank unit to raise as much as 500 billion shillings, that's about $3.86 billion, by issuing a diaspora bond. According to Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, the East African nation is now ripe for such a security, and the funds could go towards projects such as building a new facility at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, expanding the road connecting with neighboring Uganda, or extending the standard gauge railway system. Kenya is getting technical support from the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, a World Bank member that offers political risk insurance for projects for the bond. The secretary said these instruments would offer Kenyans abroad a secure investment while diversifying the source of financing for government projects. And that's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Is sports.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
The Confederation of African Football has unveiled the top 5 nominees in each of the women's categories at the upcoming 2024 CAF Awards set for the 16th of December in Marrakesh, Morocco. Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie was nominated for the Women's Player of the Year and Goalkeeper of the Year categories. The other nominees for the Women's Player of the Year include sisters Tabitha and Temwa Chawinga from Malawi, Sanam Sodi of Morocco, and Barbara Banda from Zambia. Other Goalkeeper of the Year nominees are Fideline Ngoy from reigning CAF Women's Champions League winners TP Mazembe and the DR Congo, Habiba Sabri of Egypt, Khadija Mrichi from Morocco, and Andile Dlamini from South Africa. Nominees for CAF Women's National Team of the Year are Morocco, Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, and the Cameroon under-20 side. The match day 2 fixture of the CAF Confederation Cup game between Enyimba International and Zamalek of Egypt is under big doubt. Reports from Egypt revealed a major financial crisis at Zamalek club as the first football team players are suffering from delayed payments. According to the reports, Zamalek players demanded to receive advance payments on their contract for the new season, especially since they have not received any contracted financial payments due to them since the beginning of the current season. The game against Enyimba International is scheduled for Sunday, the 8th of December at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. Reactions have continued to trail the recent stadium stampede that led to the death of over 50 people at a football match in Guinea's second largest city, Nzedekore. Reports indicate that events unraveled following a decision by the referee who sent off 2 players from the visiting team, Labe, and awarded a controversial penalty kick. Police fired several canisters of tear gas to disperse the irate crowd, which led to the incident. Japanese international Junichi Inamoto has announced his retirement at the age of 45, ending a career that saw the midfielder become the first Japanese player to appear in the Premier League. Inamoto joined Arsenal in 2001 but had to wait until moving to Fulham a year later before he made his debut in England's top flight, where he also played for West Bromwich Albion. He became a national hero when he scored twice at the 2002 World Cup on home soil, including the winner against Russia in Japan's first ever victory at the tournament. He also had stints with Galatasaray, Frankfurt, and Rennes. He has spent the last 14 years back in his homeland with 4 different clubs. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoko. I am Udoka Njoko.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Next is entertainment.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Tonight on Entertainment News, Nigerian comedian and activist Mr. Macaroni has reacted to the recent arrest of Nigerian lawyer Dele Farotimi. Taking to X today, Macaroni accused the Nigerian police of being tools of oppression for the powerful elite. Mr. Macaroni criticized the police actions and highlighted the irony of Farotimi's detention, giving his authorship of the book Nigeria and Its Criminal Justice System, which critiques the nation's culture of impunity. He wrote, Dele Farotimi wrote a book called Nigeria and Its Criminal Justice System, and the brazen impunity which the book seeks to address is playing right before our eyes. How does one describe this insanity? Using the police to abduct a person from one state to another state, the intimidation and harassment of his staff, seizure of his phones. Macaroni lamented the misuse of the police in settling civil disputes influenced by political and personal interests. He criticized the growing trend of treating civil disagreements as criminal cases due to political affiliations. The comedian also pointed to systemic corruption within the justice system, highlighting how innocent individuals often suffer while guilty remain free. Macaroni's comments have sparked significant conversations online, with many Nigerians resonating with his criticism and calling for justice in the case of Dele Farotimi. Streamer Spotify has released its 2024 Wrapped list, and Taylor Swift tops the list as the platform's most streamed artist globally in 2024, marking her second consecutive year at the top with 26.6 billion streams. Her success was fueled by the release of her album The Tortured Poets Department, the most streamed album of the year, and her record-breaking Eras tour. The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, Drake, and Billie Eilish followed Swift on the top 5 artist list, while Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso became the year's most streamed song with over 1.6 billion streams. In the podcast space, Joe Rogan and Alex Cooper continued their dominance with the Joe Rogan Experience and Call Her Daddy securing the first and second spots respectively. Rogan's show held the top position for the 5th year in a row, blustered by high-profile interviews like with the former President Donald Trump, while Cooper gained attention for hosting Vice President Kamala Harris. Spotify introduced a top audiobooks ranking for the first time, reflecting the platform's expanded audiobook offerings. Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses topped the list, followed by J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring and Janet McCordy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. That's all on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
That's all we have for you tonight, but before we go, let's take a quick look at some of our headline stories. Senate suspends tax reform bills, plans meeting with Attorney General to address disputes. Bomb blast in Zamfara State claims multiple lives, injuring several others. Human rights activist Dele Farotimi arraigned over alleged defamation. On his historic visit to Angola, U.S. President Joe Biden lauds Lobito Corridor Infrastructure Project. You can catch up on all the latest news by watching News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good night.